Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to this live showdown between Bretonnia and the Skaven. So in this match, I think we're going to go with the Fey Enchantress for our Lord, simply because she's very durable against the Skaven. She does have 60% magic resist, so if you're facing off against Skrulk, for example, with his Libra Bubonicus, she's going to be very durable. She has a little bit of missile resist, so she's going to be pretty safe against most Skaven threats like Warp Lightning Cannons and all those other kind of shenanigans. In the front line, we're going to go with mostly Foot Squires, and they're going to be led by the proud Holy Wardens. So these guys are going to be front and center. And honestly, if they do go with like Plague Monks, for example, or Sensor Bears who have very high physical resist, these guys will absolutely shred them with their magic damage. So should be fun to see. A couple Foot Squires to deal with Storm Vermin and basically just munch any low tier Skaven infantry. We also have a couple of groups of Peasant Bowmen with Fire Arrows to take out Rat Ogres, Hellpit Abominations. But guys, the true treat this game is the Royal Hippogriff Knights. Just a disclaimer, I don't think they're competitive here. I probably would just get like regular Cav instead, like Knights of the Realm or Grail Knights, but I just want to try something a little bit different and see if we can make it work. And maybe we'll discover a bit of a niche in which they might fill. But, honestly, all reality, probably not. But I like to be optimistic, I like to hope for the best. On top of that, we do have the double, not noble, but the double Paladin Goon Squad, I guess you could call it. And Skaven don't really have the best leadership and heroes in terms of durability. They have relatively low melee defense and are squishy in general. So having the two Paladins just to kind of hunt high-value targets, I feel is going to be pretty useful. I've had a lot of success in the past. If I were to maybe, make a more competitive build against Skaven, I would probably cut the Royal Hippogriff Knights and maybe one of the Spearmen and one of the Foot Squires, and then I would just get like a Grail Knight and a Knight of the Realm or something. Because Grail Knights are just really, really good, as are Knights of the Realm. Granted, they can get punished really heavily by Warp Lightning Fire, but I'm kind of putting myself in that same trap by bringing the Royal Hippogriff Knights, because they can just get absolutely pounded out by the firepower of the Skaven artillery. But, I kind of built an army that I felt confident with, even without the Royal Hippogriff Knights. So I'm hoping that, they can compensate. I don't know. We'll find out. Enough rambling. The time is now. What is best in life? Well, we're gonna find out here in a second. So we have our main core right here. We're going to get our archers kind of split up here. Pretty simple formation. It's a very infantry-heavy build. You can see we have almost no Bretonnian cav play. Fey Enchantress will be in the front, and we have a lot of these Spearmen at Arms. So we're going to put one group on the outside here, one group on the outside right here. And the reason we do that is simply because if they have the Skaven, gutter runners or other skirmisher units, they should be able to kind of screen those guys out. So let's get these guys back here. We'll get these spears back here and these guys back here. Great. And yeah, honestly, these guys can wreck Rat Ogres pretty easily. I mean, they do a really good job. So you also want to make sure that your archers, unless it's your preference, aren't on skirmish mode. It's really annoying if you leave that on. So Goon Squad here. And yeah, we got yeah, I just wish these guys were better. They're just I don't know, give them 100 armor or something. It's, I don't know, armor, maybe make their melee defense 46 too. Because in sustained combat versus a lot of units, and let's start him further back just in case my opponent has heavy artillery play. So good luck to my opponent. Looks like his army is actually smaller, so we are the Bretonnian tide. There's no Vermintide today. It's just Bretonnia tide. So we got our paladins. They're good to go. They don't have any unique traits or anything. They're really cheap. I mean, 45, 40, and let's see, yeah, 45 melee attack, 40 melee defense, and 390. But a charge bonus of 85 is huge. So if you're able to cycle charge these guys pretty effectively, you can definitely get your money's worth. And yeah, missile resist of 15, which I'm pretty sure is standard for most lords and heroes. They all have that basically. But Foot Squires, I think, are the way to go. A lot of Skaven are going to try and sustain a little bit using Storm Vermin, so I think that's a safe pick. And, with their 70 armor, they can usually, endure against most low-tier Skaven troops. Granted, Bretonnia, there was a time they were known for their infantry when they were a little bit, I would say, overpowered, but, oh yes, Doom Wheels and artillery. I love it. All right, so let's advance. We'll get our Paladins going as well in a bit of a side strafe, and we do have the Fey, so we can heal. But I'd like to use these Royal Hippogriff Knights to, what's he shooting? It looks like he's shooting at the Holy Wardens. It's probably just the AI shooting. So we're going to see if these Royal Hippogriff Knights can just Shrek this Doom Wheel. I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, what is that? What are those units? I don't even know what those are. And maybe that'll be the advantage we have. I'm just trying to stay out of line of sight of his main goodies here. So let's go ahead and advance. Our main formation, Paladins can go here. And if he's just going to give me these goodies for free, let's actually go behind him with the Paladins and get the Royal Hippogriff Knights going in. And when he retreats, damn, yeah, he caught it too quickly here. So he's able to kind of catch it, which is okay. So let's go ahead and get these main forces advancing. Fey Enchantress can get ready to party. And yeah, he's got some Rat Ogres and some other boys back there. But let's actually pull these guys in here and pull these guys here because we want to follow the Doom Wheel, basically. That's going to kind of be the main plan. Ooh, this is not fun. He's got some Storm Vermin in the front line, so that ended up being a good choice. Let's get these guys up and around the back. These guys can go here, these guys go here, and we want you guys to go around the back as well. Great. So the Fire Arrows, we can get them shooting at the Rat Ogres now. This one group can just shoot at these guys, and the Paladins and the flying bird people are just going to follow. We'll just make sure everyone's in formation here. And the Fey Enchantress can go ahead and use a regrowth on the Holy Wardens, who are definitely an important target. Great, so the Rat Ogres, we can go ahead and just push up with our spears. We can push up with our spears here as well. And, you know, since we have the numbers advantage, we can really kind of dictate things. But, man, we are taking some damage there. That is no fun, guys. So let's go ahead and get back here with the Paladins. And, yeah, I think we gotta just get in there and just get a little bit ham-bone with these guys. The Fey Enchantress, we can go ahead and charge in the front line. And let's go ahead and, yeah, fire arrows are shooting. How are they doing against Rat Ogres? Rat Ogres are going to actually be forced to engage in a really awkward engagement for them here. So Paladins have jumped in there, which is good. We probably want to go after the Doom Wheel here, but man, we are taking some firepower here. Ugh, this is just all bad news, and this is like why you don't bring those guys. So let's go ahead and drop a heal back here on them. And it looks like the Rat Ogres are getting melted, but we should pull up some auxiliary spears, and we want to get our Paladins going after the Doom Wheels. How are we doing here? Well, we're tearing those guys up, which isn't bad. So let's actually switch over there, see if we can kind of shut down those lightning cannons, which are just wrecking shop. So now we have our Paladins hunting the Doom Wheels, which is going to be good. The Rat Ogres are kind of reforming ranks, so let's go ahead and just start shooting at something we can reach. And that should be good. So yeah, we need to get the Royal Hippogriff Knights out of there. They're just like in the wrong neighborhood. Because we have spears kind of mucking things up back here anyway, so now that we got that going, let's see if we can get them going after the Doom Wheel, which could be incredibly helpful. Fey Enchantress also probably want to do that, so let's actually buff up one of these guys. Yeah, we can... I mean, they have charge defense, but I just want to get there quicker. And come on, oh, they got Howling Warp Gale. Very well played by my opponent there. Let's push these guys through, just kind of keep fighting, and these guys can go ahead and push through to the back as well. And now that they're all blobbed up, man, can we get a good and tasty... I think we're a little far away for that, but... Yeah, anyways, the two Paladins can keep punching down the Doom Wheel. I think that should be fine. Let's see if we can form ranks here, Foot Squires, and our Royal Hippogriff Knights are online now, so let's see if they can go finally Shrek this thing. We should have a regrowth for them too, which, I mean, 3 of them is still pretty strong. So Foot Squires are pushing through. We want to make sure our archers aren't overextending and like marching into anything. So what do we have as far as targets go? We can start shooting back here. Yeah, getting those Foot Squires back there is going to be really solid. So let's get the Fey Enchantress. We did get the bombardment, which is really good. Now you can see we're actually doing pretty good with those Royal Hippogriff Knights there. That is, I am happy with that. Their performance is pretty lackluster initially, but let's go ahead and get a heal over here, see if that can make any difference. Storm Vermin with shields. We need to kind of intercept those guys before they advance comfortably here. Foot Squires have gotten into the cookie jar there, which is going to be really good. And we get another regrowth on them? Yeah, we might as well just do that. Great, so we're able to take those guys out. Let's get these Spearmen at Arms up here. We can have the Royal Hippogriff Knights just kind of chase, and because yeah, they're pretty beat up as is, so let's just have them go after those guys. Great, so the Paladins are back online. We want to make sure we're not sending the Fey Enchantress to her doom, which I often do just by mistake there. And do we have any rallying troops here coming back? We do. So those guys are chasing. Get the archers here. Let's get them here. Let's go ahead and scoot you guys up here and just push in everyone. Take out those guys. And is there any targets we want to go for? Yeah, we can go after these Globadiers with our Paladins here, as well as with the those units. Great, so we're going to form a bit of a last stand against these Skaven and Tretch Craventail here and just kind of push forward. Let's go ahead and just start, wasting these guys, basically. I mean, just shooting whatever we can. And we need to get these guys shooting in as well. Those are actually Stormburn with halberds. So great, we actually shattered those. So let's pull these big boys back. We're able to kind of screen them out. And let's actually... Yeah, Tretch is going to be really good against Paladins. So let's get one Paladin here. We'll get one over there. And now we have Fey Enchantress like in an infantry blob with her Mortis Engine effect. And how come that isn't working? There we go. Earthblood's going to be really solid. We have, Overwatch Fire coming from our archers. We have our Foot Squires kind of chasing things back, which is going to be very efficient. And yeah, I think we might be in good shape. The Howling Warp Gale, unfortunately, a little bit late for my opponent. I was able to get back up in the air before, things got too crazy. So let's actually go after the Warlock Engineer. I think that could be pretty good. So the Skaven front line is basically completely buckling. So let's go ahead and just push forward, go after some of those artillery pieces. And how are our big birds doing? The big boys. We don't want them going after Tretch. We want them to go chase down other filthy rats on the battlefield. Yes. Oh, Tretch popped his Verminous Valor. And that's it, guys. We were able to do it to it with a pretty wide infantry core. Yeah, I don't know. The build was okay. I think our front line just ultimately won it. Like, it didn't matter too much what went on the periphery, but our front line and our width was able to just kind of, we had the counter picks. Like I kind of anticipated, he went very heavy with Storm Vermin. I don't know if he had ample protection for his artillery in the back, but the Doom Wheel was not effective at all. We basically had the two Paladins kind of screening it out, and even the Royal Hippogriff Knights, who took a massive beating in the beginning, were able to come back, rack up 38 kills, and actually just like wreck that Doom Wheel. So I still don't think they're going to be something that you would ever want to take into a super competitive match, like if you're trying to, playing for money or in a tournament or anything like that. But yeah, it's too risky against Skaven, because you saw how hard the Howling Warp Gale plus the other abilities were able to just absolutely pound out those Royal Hippogriff Knights. I just think it was a little bit too risky, but yeah, I don't know. I liked it. The Holy Wardens did good. The Foot Squires did well. The Peasant Archers were able to shut down the Rat Ogres and all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, I can't complain. So we'll make this a 2-for-1. Let's go ahead and queue up for another battle here. See what we can find. Might have to go get a water or something. My voice is a little bit dry. California, it's dry season right now. You know, out in the spring. Well, it was kind of like raining for a while. It's been just crazy weather. It's like when I go to Poland to visit Anna, or Lady Turin, for any of you guys who don't know, that's my lovely fiance. Whenever I go out there, it's like always like California weather. It's like weird, like sporadic, like hot weather with like random storms. And when she comes out here, it's like just when she came out here, it was like the same thing. It's like we're heralds of the West and East, just bringing our respective weather to each other's countries. So hopefully we don't get the fine match bug. And yeah, we're good. All right, Marshall Gray, let's do it. So right now, he's going to pick vampire counts. We could go with, who's fun against vampires? I'm trying to think of a cool matchup. I mean, Chaos is going to be pretty strong with their new RORs, so I think we could go with someone else maybe. The Bleakdale, and on maps like this that are basically Nagron themed maps, you don't really want to bring ranged armies because they're just it's just a nightmare. So let's go with Norsca. And for Norsca, we're going to go ahead and load our army setup. And you can see we have all these builds for every single matchup. So we have two. We have this one, which is a Mammoth build, which I know there hasn't been like any Mammoths on the channel. The Mammoth build is the less competitive of the two. This is probably going to be the better one, which you're going to just be safe with. But, you know, I feel like I would be letting you guys down if I didn't bring the Mammoth. Let's see what the Mammoth build uses. The problem is, yeah, we still have Familiar with great weapons. Okay, this should be fine. Let's give it a try. Give it a try. So basically you have Berserkers in the front line just to, you know, monster mash through chaff. You have the Mammoth to crush the souls of the soulless Graveguard. Familiar with great weapons to deal with, you know, Terror Guys, things like that. Of course you have Throg. A couple Javelins, each of which is going to be protected by a couple Spears. So it's not as good as the other build, but it can work. And if you are going to bring a Mammoth, I think this is one of the matchups in which it's going to be relatively effective. So yeah, let's go ahead and hope for the best. If my opponent, I don't know, how's he going to play this, I wonder. I mean, the Terror Guys are a little bit risky because Throg can really spank them, and the Familiar with great weapons also do very well against Terror Guys. Granted, Terror Guys have more mobility, and their breath attacks are really good against Mammoths and like other large entities and things like that. So yeah, we're gonna see how it rolls here in the Great Bleak Dale. But I know, like, I think since the Norsca release, I haven't had like any Mammoth gameplay. Like, I don't know if I've even had. Maybe I think there was like a 2v2 in which there was like a Mammoth or two brought, but they're just if you guys are wondering, like, they're just not. Norsca is more competitive typically by going wider. Their infantry get like incremental increasing value as their rage mechanics go on. Premier are just so good. Mammoths are just huge targets. Huge targets. It's just it's too risky. I think if you're trying to play in like a competitive metagame to bring Mammoths, but I mean, we might get punished for it here. His two Terror Guys might just feast on it and we're just going to lose, but you know, who cares? It's about having fun and trying new things every now and then, right? So, all right, so we got 299. We're about to load in here. Wookiee's barking angrily at Lola in the kitchen. Anna and I actually gave him haircuts today. They're both super pissed off. Now, is this is water? Yes, this looks like it's some sort of terrain there. So Berserkers in the front line, pretty standard stuff. I mean, there's a lot of builds Norsca has against vampires that can be pretty good. So yeah, let's get you guys scoot you guys back a little bit. These guys are very good against like Mortis Engines and Corpse Carts and you know, all sorts of stuff. Even against Terror Guys, they can kind of pepper them down. Spears, let's get the Spears back here and back here. We got our Norscan boys ready to party. We got the Mammoth, the Soul Crusher. We're going to bring a Mammoth. It better be the Soul Crusher, right? And Throg Daddy can be right here. Our Firecaster can be right here. Actually put him closer to Throg so he doesn't get sniped out. And we have some extra Marauders, which we're going to use in the back to just be zombie killers, basically. I like to bring one group just for that. And the Familiar with great weapons can kind of be hanging tight as well. So it's a bit of a Death Star. I wouldn't call it a Death Star. I mean, we have a pretty diverse army. We have Spears, we have Javelins, we got big monsters, we got infantry. It's well-rounded. Let's actually try and fight. Get up here. Let me do it. Yeah, I think we can do it. Yeah, so if we get right up here on the high ground. Oh, okay. I'd like to like fight not in the swampy water. I mean, granted, it might be okay. So let's see. He's got Black Knights. He does have the Red Duke with a couple of spells. Yeah, we should be fine against Black Knights for sure. If there's no Terrorgeist and it's just the Red Duke, we should be able to, you know, Throg him out. To Throg him. It sounds like something that would make sense here. So Stearnsman, he's got Graveguard, which are good picks in the front line. They're going to do really well against Berserkers. His chaff units will get cut to pieces pretty quickly, but for the most part, we should be okay. Okay, great. So Throg, we could go up and try and get some throw ups. So let's and this is a tactic I often use. Is I put it, like everything at a nice clean group for moving, and then when the battle's about to start, I start switching things to their respective combat groups. See, like 2 and 3. It's just helps you. I don't know if it's like an advanced tactic, but it's okay for like, you know, not forgetting things if you're worried about that. So. All right, so let's get you guys kind of parked here. We'll see what the spooky vampires. I wish I could throw up upward. That's like one of my great sorrows here. So, all right, so we're going to get our javelins. This is another reason why javelins are good. We're going to side strafe because he might be using a breath attack. I'm not sure. So we're going to see where he's going. All right, so if he's going there, yeah, it looks like he's going to use a zombie breath attack on my javelins, which is fine because we're going to get like a full volley. Yeah, that did some good damage. That was pretty good because it layered on top of my spears, actually. Okay, well played. Looks like he's got a Rohirrim front line. So let's get our Famir with great weapons in group 4 and just kind of move them up. We're going to want to pull our Berserkers back, get the Mammoth kind of going into the Black Knights. Throg can go into these guys, and then the Berserkers can kind of follow suit. So from here, let's set up these guys, and the Famir are kind of rushing forward, and good. Now we can kind of collapse in and have a bit of a Death Star here, which will be okay. Throg, we want to pull you back. Berserkers, we can pull you in. And he's getting pretty wild with his business here. So now we're going to cast the Flaming Sword of Rune, which is just going to make it absolute just massacre here. We'll use Fight or Die. So I like how he charged in with his cav, but honestly, they're not enduring as much as you know, you may have thought they would. So get our javelins up in the sky. Actually, we're going to pull these ones back because he's summoning zombies here. We're going to get those guys in. Throg can go ahead and re-engage here. Berserkers can kind of reform ranks, and the Famir can also reform ranks. A big thing when you're playing with Mammoths, you want to make sure they don't overextend and get like caught away from their bros here. So we'll get the javelins continuing to pepper in. These guys can pepper in. We'll move up those marauders to kind of re-support, and let's go ahead and use the Cascading Fire Cloak from the Berserkers. Great. So just kind of keep attacking there. Throg Daddy's kind of just waiting for the second charge of the Rohirrim here. I don't know if we need the Famir here. I feel like it's a little bit unnecessary, but we're getting okay javelin fire. I mean, it's not, you know, oh, he's going in hot. I thought he was thinking about it. So the Famir, we probably just want to maybe follow around the Duke a little bit. Yeah, let's get you guys, make sure to take off skirmish mode. I was like just telling you guys last game how important that is. Burning Skull can go down this formation right here. Maybe we'll get some okay value, and yeah, we're getting that working. We're going to pull these javelins back, get these spearmen kind of going up to kind of engage there, and I think we're okay. I don't think he has enough stopping power to deal with the Soul Crusher and stuff, so let's get Throg Daddy back there. These Famir, we don't even need them in the back line. I think Throg can handle the Red Duke on his own, especially with the spear and javelin support. So we're going to reform here. Let's see if we can get these javelins out and away, and yeah, Throg's just going to give him the business now. Especially with javelin support, it's going to be a massacre. All right, so guys, form up. These Famir, they're taking a lot of damage. You want to pull them back. Checking on the Soul Crusher. He's just crushing souls with 35 souls being crushed. Souls so far. So yeah, we're getting some good damage in. Some of the zombies are being plugged up. We still have one group left, so he's going to summon here. So we pull back, pull those guys forward, just get ready to go. And oh man, he's just getting dominated by Throg. Can we throw up on him? Yeah, we're totally throwing up. So these Berserkers are going to push in. These guys will reform. These guys will reform. And we threw up on him. Didn't do much damage. Probably a complete waste. Let's actually just bring the Famir back here. So let's actually see if we can head him off here. Mammoth's taking some damage from the spears, but nothing terribly devastating. Let's go ahead and drop the Flaming Sword of Rune right here, because that's going to get our javelins as well. And I think our javelins are kind of trapped up, which is unfortunate. Berserker's still doing a good job, but you can see Throg is just giving the Duke the business. And we'll pull in these guys in melee, actually. Oh, looks like we don't need to. Okay. So the Famir are good. Let's get these guys going. We're going to go ahead and send Throg over to deal with those guys. And yeah, these javelins are having a little trouble getting out because some of their models are caught. But the Soul Crusher is definitely just crushing some soul. So let's see. Can we get this? We are struggling on leadership a little bit. We're going to get him in there, pop his melee buff there. Let's get these guys pushing. And that's going to be all she wrote. So we crushed some souls, boys. We didn't take too much damage. Berserkers, they hold their own if they're supported. Graveguard will typically beat a front line of Berserkers, but for the most part, we did okay. Ultimately, the Red Duke just got just straight up pound town by Throg. I think that was one of the big keys for success. Look at him. He's just all happy. Can we throw up? Can we throw up here? Just a victory throw up on those zombies. Just go ahead and drop a GG. And that's it. That's going to be all she wrote. So let's go ahead and take a look at the builds. I think my opponent was a little aggressive with his cav. I understand, because a front line of Berserkers is like pretty buttered up for charges. They're very defensive. So I see the direction he was going. Maybe he stayed in sustained combat a little bit too long. Personally, I don't know. I might have used the Graveguard in the front line, then tried to use like the cav as like a rear charge or a flank pressure unit. But I see the direction he was going. But really, like, Blood Knights and Red Duke, I guess that's enough anti-large. But yeah, the Dragon is a little bit risky because Throg can frostbite him. Like, against Norsca, it's, I don't know. I have to play the Vampire counts, but I would probably go with Terror Geist, I would imagine. Maybe use like 5 on Karstein on the ground, because Throg couldn't really kill him quickly. It would actually take forever. But yeah, it was definitely fun. I would probably keep the Graveguard. Blood Knight, yeah, you could use a Blood Knight. They'll do well against like Skin Wolves, and maybe you could even get a Terror Geist. Mortis Engines, I've kind of like lost my interest in them. Norsca has some really good tools against them too with Javelin. So, but before I give you guys really substantial advice on this matchup from the Vampire Counts perspective, I'd like to go play it a little bit, and I certainly will. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this 2-for-1 Norsca, and I cannot even remember who he played in game 1 because I'm turning 30 soon and I am going senile. But hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing this 2-for-1, and guys, we will see you all next time.